Ladies and gentlemen, State Route 3, cars, people, anything that is crossing at that time. How could Jessie Bullit know while speeding down a blind curve that the road was free? She couldn't. There was only two things that Jessie Bullit could use to prevent an accident. Number one is the speed limit, to follow the speed limit. And number two is his judgment. Speed limit and judgment. But Jessie Bullit's judgment that day was to ignore the speed limit, ignore society's laws of safety, and to proceed with haste to wherever she was going. Now, what do we call that? Negligence. Negligent driving. And in Nita County, negligence is when you commit an act a reasonably prudent person would not do, or failure to do something a reasonably prudent person would do. A reasonably prudent person would not be speeding through a blind curve. A reasonably prudent person would be following the speed limit. Because a reasonably prudent person is using their conscience. In their conscience, they know that they don't know what's around that blind curve. What could be around that curve? Anything. A car, people, a skateboard, a puppy, baby on a stroller, anything. And part of being a reasonably prudent person is being aware of your surroundings. The speed limit is there for a reason. Nita County put that 40 miles per hour speed limit on the State Route 3 intersection so that drivers like you and me could see what's in front, slow down, stop, and avoid an accident. Jessie Bullit disregarded the speed limit, disregarded Nita County's traffic control devices that were put there for her own safety. And what was the result? Jessie Bullit caused an accident. How do we know that? Michelle Claiborne testified that she unquestionably saw Jessie Bullit speeding as she was going down State Route 3. Vito Marchetti came to the scene after the accident, and he testified to the damages of the vehicle. That Mr. Bullitt's vehicle collided with the rear right side of Miss Forrest's vehicle. Think about that. As Miss Forrest is making a left, Mr. Bullitt's vehicle collides with the rear right side. What does that tell you? It tells you that, one, Miss Forrest was already in the intersection. Two, that Mr. Bullitt was unable to stop in time. And three, that Mr. Bullitt was unable to stop in time because he was speeding. Jessie Bullit is liable for her negligent acts. And because of that incident, now just Miss Forrest has no vehicle. A violent collision, a total loss. Shouldn't the person who's responsible pay for Miss Forrest's loss? Shouldn't Jessie Bullit compensate Miss Forrest for his negligent act? That's what we're here to ask you. For you, as a panel of jurors, to come together and let Miss Forrest live her life again. Let her get a new car. Let her be able to go to work again. We're not asking for the moon. We're asking for the minimum compensatory damages to replace Miss Forrest's vehicle, $7,500. Now, plaintiff's counsel is arguing that Miss Forrest was negligent, that Miss Forrest ran through the intersection and That's why the accident occurred. Well, how are they doing that? Because Mr. Bullit witnessed Ms. Forrest run a red light. But Mr. Bullit's testimony is inconsistent with his prior testimony. On October 3, 2013, a date much closer to the accident than today, Mr. Bullit gave a sworn deposition where he stated that as he approached State Route 3, that Ms. Forrest's car was already, and I quote, going through the intersection. Now, how could Mr. Bullit have known that Ms. Forrest's car was running, that Mr. Forrest's car didn't stop before the intersection when Mr. Bullit didn't see Ms. Forrest's car until it was already in the intersection? Now, what does that do to you? Who would you rather believe? Or do you even believe Mr. Bullit at all? He has a $47,000 incentive that you do believe in here today. But where does that leave you? Whose version of events? What other witness has the plaintiff produced that states that Ms. Forrest didn't stop at the intersection? Ruth Craig? Ruth Craig didn't see the accident. Ruth Craig heard sounds. What? She heard Ms. Forrest not stop at the intersection? The only thing Ruth Craig could accurately testify to is facts that happened after the collision, not beforehand, not how the accident happened, not as it happened, after. So when you go into that deliberation room, I want you to remember that the only disinterested witness here that testified and saw the accident with their own eyes is Michelle Claiborne. And you heard Michelle Claiborne's words. That one, Ms. Forrest stopped before the intersection, and two, that Ms. Bullit was speeding at an incredible speed as she approached. When you go into that deliberation room, I want you to remember these two things. And if you do, then you will know that Ms. Forrest is not liable for negligence. You will know the truth, and you will return the verdict, a rightful verdict, a verdict that states Mr. Bullit is liable for negligence, and a verdict that orders the necessary payment of $7,500 so Ms. Forrest can be whole and live her life again. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Does the plaintiff have a vote? You do, Your Honor.